will give us updates of what he thinks coming in the near future in real estate in Texas and the country.
So last time that he spoke was in 2019
That
live.
is correct.
And when he said in 2019, he said
Thank you.
that he believed that we're not taking a nosedive, but if it was an airplane, the way he saw the real estate market going was that we were on descent.
Right.
And that when you go on descent, it's a while before you actually touch down.
Well, he told me we were probably a couple years ago. He said we're probably in about the sixth inning of a 9 inning game. And then the next year he came back. He said, I think we're probably, excuse me, we're probably only in the fifth. So he felt we had a few good more years ahead of us. Now, what's happened, even with what's happening with COVID last year, I don't need Mark to tell us about our business, especially in Texas. We had one of our best years ever, and it's off to a great start this year. I mean, for people that are real estate investors, either buying, fixing, or flipping, or buy, fixing, or holding, it has been awesome. The business is there. I mean, yeah, it's a little harder to go out and find deals, but with inflation, I mean, with way things are rising, prices in this area, I got rental guys paying close to retail the last 2 or 3 years, and they're up 25%.
Hey, what I thought was interesting was seeing Eddie's daughter just bought a rental property in North Carolina.
Yeah.
In the way that one, so when people say that you can't find deals, sometimes you need to think different,
right?
Look outside the box, and two, you need to buy different.
Sure.
What y'all taught me a long time ago was that deals are not found as much as they are made.
Yep.
Explain how you can make a deal.
Well, when you're negotiating, trying to buy something, I mean, you got to look at a lot of different factors, okay? Buying something in this area may have a different formula than buying something in this area, depending on what your use of it's going to be. If you're buying to try to just fix it up and flip it and make a quick buck, you better be buying with equity, because that's the only way you're going to make money. Now, if you can say, oh, I can buy with some equity, but not enough, but I still want to flip it, but I may just hold it for 2 years, put a renter in there, let it appreciate, and then sell it. Or it may just be, why not? I've always learned what I will say over the years, if you can buy something and as quick as you can rent things today, and for what neighborhoods are appreciating, why do you need to even flip? Now, there may be some people out there that may have had some tough times where they may have messed their credit up, because you got to have some long-term credit, but the lenders are jumping back in this game. We got a guy that was right at 600 approved for a long-term loan. Now, he had to be a full doc with Clint over in Integrity, but a lot of non-QM programs, if you're at least 610, 620, there's avenues out there for you.
So at 620, give everyone an understanding of what the refi process looks like.
Right.
Points, interest rate, cash out.
Yeah, well, what you're doing, if you're buying distressed property, the program for asset-based lending works for you. If you're buying it at any discounts, okay, it'd be great if you could buy it at a big discount. You may get into it with no money out of pocket. Okay, they'll fund repairs, and you're in it at up to a 70% value. Then you can go refi at 75% and have no money in the deal, and get a long-term rate up to 30 years at 4.25% to 5% on a non-QM factor. Even with, now, if you're as low as the 620, you may be 5.5%, but that's still a great rate for holding a rental property.
Is there an avenue for them to buy the points or buy the rate down?
Yes, you can always buy points down, depending on credit score. If your credit score is good and your DSCR is good, based off your debt on the rent compared to the debt, I mean your income on the rent and your debt just on that property. That's all they look at. They don't look at your personal debt to income ratios. They don't look at your income you're making. You know, it's based off of that one property. So you're not having to submit tax returns, show everything you've got, show more reserves. It's all based off of one property that can support itself.
And if I'm doing a short-term loan or a short-term rental, will the loan allow me to also non-QM?
Yes.
On short-term
rentals.
How long does a person need to establish a short-term rental history in order to qualify?
Normally what you're going to look at, they're still going to look at initially what an average rent is for long-term to give them a good basis of what your debt to DSCR will be. But as you're there, and what we tell people, especially in Texas, which we're doing those all over the country, we have do that. But our short-term money, we're mainly loaning in Texas. The longer-term rental stuff, we have capital partners that will help us loan it in other parts of the state. But for what I would recommend is if you can get in there and get in it, do it now, lock it in, and then 2 years down the road, when you can prove what your short-term rental income is, then you could go in and refinance either a different route or another non-QM product that could allow you to probably pull cash out, because values are going to be based off of income as well as sales that will help increase your value.
Okay, that's awesome. What is the lowest interest rate you think that you can get someone? And these are 30-year fixed loans.
That's correct.
So 30-year fixed. What is someone going to be able to lock in with you if they
on a non-QM?
On a non-QM,
you're probably looking as low as 4.15 is probably the best you could get. Whereas you're not having, it's not a full doc loan, but it's just
the last 2 months bank statements.
Correct.
Your rental agreements.
Yep. Gotta need to see a lease.
Okay. What else does someone need to see?
Well, they're basically going to need to pull your credit to see what your middle score is.
And then they need to see a bank account that shows that you can support how many months?
Basically, I think your reserves are about 90 days.
I think that, you know, if you got a couple nickels that you're rubbing together, I think you can qualify for one of these.
Sure.
And you also have to have the property refinanced into an LLC, not your personal name. Yes or no?
90% of the time, there's an option out there. If it's in your personal name, we could still help make that happen.
Okay. Okay, that's good. Because there's a lot of non-QM products out there that you must refi
You must be into an LLC or a separate entity. Could be a corporation, S Corp, C Corp, LLC, but they don't want it in your personal name.
And do these non-QM products also work for commercial?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. What I'm using is for 1 to 4 families.
Okay.
Anything on multifamilies, we're going a straight commercial loan. That's basically
that's 100%.
100%. It's going to be 100% doc unless we run them through one of our banks that may be interested in looking at it. That may be a little easier, but won't get as good a rate as you would through one of these bigger commercial ones.
Okay.
Okay.
That's interesting. What else would you like to talk about in regards to loans and lending before we get into fun stuff?
All right. Well, the first part is would you loan me some money in case you're going to charge me for my ticket Friday for the game? Because I know you've got extras that come all from all directions. And if I've got to rely on my own deal, which I can, and I'm sure, but mine probably won't be as good as it. Are you really?
That's the fun stuff I wanted to talk about. Because your daughter just got married.
She just got married 3 weeks ago now.
Yeah. And I saw the videos that you posted, and it was beautiful.
A lot of fun.
You went to Cabo. Yep. It's just amazing what real estate has afforded some of us.
Well, and I can honestly say this, and don't get me wrong, I've worked hard my whole life, and I've probably worked harder once I got into real estate than I ever did in my other jobs. But what's really been satisfying is you work hard in anything you do, you're going to be taken care of. That's just my opinion. good work ethic, work hard, you'll succeed. Don't blame anybody else. You do what you need to do and do it. But with what real estate has done, it's allowed over the period of time, especially like rental properties, it allows you to have other money come in that is passive income to help support your other things. But, you know, I hear this more and more every day. And I heard it today. I got a call, not today, it was about Monday. We're going to meet on Friday. He goes, I'm going to call you. Let's set up something Friday. If it wasn't for y'all 12 years ago when I first met y'all, I wouldn't be where I am today. Y'all have made me successful and y'all still being there and loaning me money and doing things. And I hear that more and more, especially at our meetings or different deals. Says, man, thank you so much, because my success is depending on Jet Lending being there when nobody else would loan. And, you know, and y'all sold it that it ain't about what the price and what the numbers are. It's all about you find a deal, you make it happen, and be able to build your wealth. And over a period of time, then you grow into where you can afford better terms. But guess what? Those people have better terms, but they still come to me for money all the time because they don't have unlimited better terms. And they will never walk away from a deal because they know how much money they can make on it by buying distressed property, either holding it for rental or flipping it, even if they have to pay a little bit larger fee than going to a bank, because most of the time they can't get it closed in time.
Have you been to any Texans games this season?
Yes, I have.
Were you super disappointed?
No, because they played pretty good. The one I went to.
The Carolina Panthers game?
No, I wasn't at that one. I went to the last preseason game. And the only reason I haven't been to one of the regular season games is because I've been out of town at college games. But I still watch them. But I will tell you this, when the 53-man roster came out, and I saw it, and so I went through it. I went through there, and there was 9 people on that team that I knew the names of. And one of them was Deshaun, who was not going to play because he's
Tyrod Taylor.
Okay. And I knew Tyrod Taylor just from another team, but he was new to the team. Well, been there 1 year. But I knew the long snapper.
Right.
And I knew the kicker who was hurt, so he wasn't going to play. So if you go back, it was probably only 6 other starters or people that were on the team. The rest of them, I knew who they were. They weren't tied to the Texans or they weren't a superstar, but I give them credit. The first part of the season, the defense played pretty well in the preseason, and they played a little gutsy there. We've just had some bad luck with some injuries, and, you know, I will give credit. I think our new coach is doing a pretty fair job with what he's got there.
Yeah.
We'll just see what happens.
I know that I've met you guys at several Texans games. You've taken me to a game before. I bought tickets from you during the pandemic. I bought tickets from you to go to one of the games. I just know that you guys are always living an abundant lifestyle on the event and freedom and fun side of real estate.
All right.
All of these loan products and stuff are great, and we can dissect those all day long. But the reason why you want to learn about these products is so that you can just do the fun
go and
stuff.
Enjoy life and meet people, and guess where a lot of our business comes from?
Meeting people
and doing
people
fun stuff at those things.
Yes.
You know, I brought something, I don't know, it's been a couple weeks ago, and I was coming into the office, and a guy pulled up, and he goes, "Do you Uber to the office?" And I was like, "No, I was out of town. I just flew back in. You know, it was on a Monday morning, and I Ubered from the airport." And he goes, "Well, the airport said, why would?" He goes, "Well, you know, I could name 5 deals in the last 2 years that I've done loans for people that were Uber drivers, because when you're in the car talking, you know, you always bring up, well, what do you do for a living? You just Uber driver. Well, what do you do? Well, I loan asset-based lending and real estate. Man, I've been wanting to get into that. And you just never know
where your next deal's going to come.
You never know. You know.
All right, man.
Hey,
well,
thank
congratulations.
you. Congratulations on you.
Thank you.
Getting
2 days.
Yeah.
2 days.
So are y'all getting married at the Astros game?
Golly, my guys just sent me a text. That's what I was texting right before we went on. They said, change of plans. We're moving your wedding to Minute Maid Park.
There you go. See?
Yeah,
Congratulations.
No, we're not doing that. We have a whole setup that I've already paid for. So yes.
So all right. So any extra tickets coming, just call me. I'll be happy to take them off.
I appreciate you.
All right. Thanks.
All right, Johnny Hayes, everybody. Claps out there. The louder you clap, the less I can hear. Okay, Eddie Gant.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Fella.
Go Astros.
Go Astros.
Did you watch the game last night?
Oh, are you crazy? Yes, I am.
I knew you did. I just had to ask anyway.
I'm the chairman of Moms for Maldonado.
Hey, the number 9 is kind of cheap in the series, isn't it? I'd say there's 9. Somebody's scoring 9 every night.
Well, I will tell you what. I have been betting on the games for the last 3 games.
Ooh, I don't do that.
It's well, I bet on Boston and I won big.
Yeah.
Then I bet on Boston again last night and we lost. So then
you know what I bet on?
We bet on Boston tonight and
you know
we
what
lost again. What did you bet?
Bet on real estate.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy. Okay, so what big bets have you made lately on real estate?
Well, I think we got more of the same. I hate to be boring, but for a while, I think we got more of the same. Whoa.
We have a technical difficulty.
Well, it's what it is.
Eddie's hair keeps getting in the way of his.
That right there fell out of my pocket and pulled it off. That's what happened.
Go.
We'll just lay it right there. How's that?
There you go.
I guess they can still hear me.
I think they can hear you. Yeah, he's saying you're good.
All right, good. Okay.
You're good.
I don't know. I mean, I think we got more of the same. The number of active listings in Houston is hovering at the same point it's been for 2 months now.
14,000?
It was 15,100 this morning.
Okay.
I looked at it so I'd be prepared for tonight. But it's been that way for a while.
Like it's up about another 1,000 since last month. Last month we were in the 14s, I think.
Pandemic Monday, COVID Monday, I call it, was 18,000 plus, and that's the Monday that they shut down the rodeo and everything of 2020, and it went all the way to the lowest I saw it get was 10,000, and then it jumped up to 16. Okay, and then it's gone back down to 15. It had been there for 2 months. It's just sitting there.
Yeah.
And I don't mean there's not deals going on, but the number of houses going pending are at the same rate that the houses are coming on the market. So, no, that's a healthy number. It's only a month and a half to month and 3/4 of inventory.
So if you're not actively advertising anymore through as much as you used to,
not as much.
Okay, through We Buy Ugly Houses,
Home Investors, We Buy Ugly Houses. That's right.
Home Investors. And you're not actively purchasing as much as you were.
I'm not as much. No.
Where is most of your due diligence? Where is most of your energy spent?
Well, I've helped Johnny and Alex and Rob grow Jet Lending a lot. I mean, we got more loans out today than we've ever had, and we're potentially have this month as big of a month as we've ever had in the history of the company and number of closings. So I like to think I'm contributing in that effort. My construction of a new restaurant is taking way more of my time than I would like. So I'm having to spend a lot of time with that.
Fun stuff, man.
Well, this hadn't been fun. It's just too much arguing going on, and I mean, we're going to get it done, but it's just too much arguing.
Is Dr. Dotzer going to come up on here on the podcast?
No, he's not. He wants to. I'm surprised he's standing there, to be honest with you. He's wanting to be he's social distancing big time.
Oh, okay.
And that's what he told us on.
All right.
How you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, he said he wanted to be kind of social distance. I think he had a friend that got it bad, and so
yeah, man. We had 2 friends, Jason and Brian.
We had an ex-vendor die last week.
Really?
You remember the guy Gene from Phoenix that had the assisted living academy, or I don't know if that's a formal name.
Yeah.
But he had this business. He was teaching people how to run how to develop and construct.
He passed away.
He was a good-looking, healthy man the last time I saw him.
Like
he about my age.
You would swipe right on him?
I don't even know what that means. I know what it means, but
You gave me the Eddie Gant look like you knew what I was talking about. I ain't never
been on one of them sites. And that's true.
Well, when you look like you don't have to. I mean, you're Eddie Gant. You just walk into the place and people are serving chicken tenders to you.
All right, you're going to make all these people sick at home. Let's stop this, man. Let's talk some real estate. But no, I mean, yeah. We're going to have a good crowd tonight.
I think so.
With Dr. Mark Dotcher talking. He's wonderful. I mean, it's probably my favorite. Definitely my favorite event of the year.
I do
hear him. I'm going to get me I'm probably going to perch right along here up somewhere close. I'm going to
watch
this. I'm going to watch this one tonight.
I'm going to be social, not distancing.
Yeah.
I'm going to be up close.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to say?
I think he's going to say interest rates are going to stay low for another year. I think he's going to say the feds are artificially keeping it down. I think he's going to say the housing bubble will eventually end, but it's not going to end in the next 6 or 12 months.
How long do you think that they can suffocate the foreclosures? The backlog of people who are needing to be foreclosed on?
Well, I don't know if that's real or Memorex, to be honest with you. And I say
give
this
me
all the time.
a Memorex meaning what?
Memorex means that it's an artificial number that people talk about. Let me give you an example, and this is no BS. I get all these national articles emailed every day to me. National Mortgage News, Inman, Think Realty. I mean, they're all bombarding us with articles, and I can read an article at 10 a.m. from Inman that says exactly what you said. Oh, there's such as backlog of foreclosures. It's going to eventually hit the market, blah, blah, blah. And then at 11, you can read National Mortgage News, and they'll say, it's really not as bad as people say. It's really not much to this. 2 days later, they'll reverse what they said. All they're trying to do is sell freaking ads, and I'm totally convinced of that. They contradict themselves every 2 or 3 days, these national articles. So who knows?
Just looking for
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're selling advertising.
If you were getting started right now, you did not have, you had money, okay, or you had access to Jet Lending Capital. Where would you be getting started in Houston?
Well, I think if you're brand new and not in real estate, I don't suggest you go immediately into a buy and hold business model. Okay, rentals. Not day one. You got to get some time under your tires. You got to figure out. You got to learn how to read a settlement statement. You got to learn the lender's role. You got to learn all this stuff.
What's the importance?
And you don't know it day one.
What's the importance of reading the settlement statement? That's probably the third time you've mentioned settlement statement. The first time.
Yeah, they're all wrong the first time you get them. I'd say, when you get a settlement statement, I got one yesterday. Sold a house yesterday. It come from my favorite go-to title company. They're here, Nicole Baker and University Title. It was wrong, and they're 90% wrong. They got errors.
What's the major issues that where are you looking on a settlement statement? I've never known. I think that this would be an amazing.
Yeah.
This would be an amazing.
The first thing I always do is almost in this order. I look and see if they got the contract price right.
Okay. Usually
that's correct. I look and see if they got the seller contribution correct, meaning on contract I'm going to help $5,000 closing costs. Then that's usually right. Here's the one that's most often wrong. I'm going to see if they got the prorated taxes correct. Okay, and I'm going to give an example. It's not just seeing if they're correct in dollar amount, but you got to make sure that they're going the right way, meaning coming to me or being taken away from me. When you buy a property, you are receiving the prorated taxes from the seller. You'll be surprised how many times they reverse that. So it's not only you're not getting it, you're paying it. So it's double dipping you. You'd be surprised how many times it's like that. How many times? That's a very common one. I'm a high volume guy, so I expect high volume fees on the ones they can be flexible on, mainly the escrow fee. And people not giving volume to a title company can expect to pay a higher escrow fee. That's where the mistake was yesterday. My escrow fee was triple what it's supposed to be. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So I called them, slapped them around a little bit, and then they fixed it. So it's those things. Here's another one. Title companies make their money from selling title policies and endorsements. Okay. My lender, when I use a particular lender, she's used Jet Lending, for example. we don't require a lot of endorsements. Usually it's boundary survey, endorsement. That's about it. That's about it. Okay. But you sell them a statement, there may be 5 of them listed there that they're selling you because, they're all 30, 40, 50 bucks each. But that adds up. And I say something make you mad? Or are you thinking?
No, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because
I'm going back through a closing that I just had.
But you ask the title company about it, they'll say, well, that's lender required. Usually it's not. So anyway, you have to check that stuff. You can get $50 to death over a year, and it's $50 ain't gonna break any of them, but $50 262 times it gets you.
So then you were going to finish your thought before I interrupted you about the seller statement. Where would you go and be focusing on if you were getting started, if you're saying not buy and hold?
I think you need to be wholesaler and flipping houses for a quick profit. I mean, that's where we all start. And single family houses, don't be trying to flip, commercial buildings and RV parks and all that stuff. Your first week in the business, you're going to be out of the business pretty quick, if you make a mistake.
Is there some method of advertising or list production that you would go to? Would it be bandit signs? Would it be yellow letters? Would it be pulling a divorce list? Would it be pulling a probate?
Well, all of those are effective. They really are. They all are. 5, 8 years ago, there was very few people doing mailers. Very few. A year and a half ago, no one was doing texting. Okay,
that's still a big one today.
Yeah, but you better be careful with that, or you'll get a TPCA lawsuit on you.
Wow.
So you have to be careful with that. There's, the mailers is probably as simple as it gets. But if you don't want to spend any money marketing, then you got to go beat the bushes. You got to go get in the neighborhoods and go drive the brick neighborhoods built in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and knock on doors and put flyers out. And I hear people talk all the time about vacant houses. I don't like a vacant house as much as I like an occupied house that's got a bad roof, garage door hanging off, and you can see the mini blinds are all destroyed because the dogs inside are destroying the inside of the house. Somebody's living there. It's either the owner or somebody that knows the owner. You ain't buying the house unless you talk to the owner.
Right.
I mean, you're just not going to get it, So, a vacant house, that's a few more steps to try to find that owner. Okay? Where occupied house, he's either living there or knows the people that are, You see what I'm saying? It's easier.
Yeah.
It's easier. I like the path of least resistance where I come from.
I do too. I wish it was easier, but today your competition is sitting right on top of you. They're in the car.
Oh yeah.
As you're getting in the car, turning the key, they're getting out of the car and knocking on the door.
Oh, I know it. And when I go on an appointment, when they tell me somebody else is coming right behind me, if I'm not in a hurry, when I'm finished with my appointment, I usually just sit in my truck out in the street. I want to see who's coming. I want them to see me. I want to know what they're up against. I want to see Nick Saban walking up the driveway,
Brother.
All right.
You are amazing. You're a wealth of knowledge.
No,
whatever.
I don't know anything. I've just done a few deals. That's all.
I'll come to you for all my chicken tender advice.
There you go. All right. You coming in, Richard?
I am.
All right.
Rich
Bye, everybody. Come on out.
Can you hear me now?
Renters Warehouse.
Can you hear me now? Hey, I heard you talk about a wealth of knowledge. You go broke with Eddie's wealth of knowledge.
I hear you.
Hey, bottom of 770 Astros.
I'm losing money tonight. I bet on Boston.
To cover, not to win.
To win. I bet on Boston. The line was 115. And the reason why I did it is this. Because we bet on the Astros, and the Astros then tanked 2 games in a row. So Brian and I decided we were going to lose money. No, Brian and I decided we were going to bet Boston, so we would change the momentum
So because of this, they're going to win. Because of you.
You guys can
thank you.
Brian and I, because
I don't thank Brian for anything.
We bet a whopping $60 a piece. That's basically the cost of the ticket.
So I guess you'd be happy either way. They lose, you're unhappy, but happy you won money. If they win, you're happy they won, and not happy you lost money.
Money doesn't always buy you happiness, Rich. If the Astros lose, I'm significantly sadder.
Less happy, yeah.
Yeah,
but it'll buy you security. Money will buy security.
Talk about security.
Well,
what is?
I've always heard that money can't buy happiness, right?
And it's usually said from poor people.
Well, yeah. I'm just as happy in a apartment with my family as I am in a 4,000 square foot house with my family. I'm certainly more comfortable. And if I had my choice, I'd take the big house, right? If I had my choice, I'd take the luxury sedan versus the Yugo. But it's not the end of the world either way. However, when you have a little bit of cushion, so to speak, you have financial reserves, sure is a relief when you know if my wife or I get some serious disease, I could plunk down the money and make it happen, right? Or something happens to my business that goes under, I can live for years without having to do anything if I had to. If I got hurt, can't work, I'm still safe. Security.
My security to me is cash flow.
True.
Okay.
Yep.
The active money I make is extra. Mm-hmm. The cash flow is what I need in order to be secure, right, whether I don't want to actively work.
And I take the reserves I have and create cash flow with it. So I do the same thing.
Yeah, I just did a syndication apartment deal with Mr. Texas.
I remember that. You told me that last time we were here.
17 unit. Yeah. Did you go to Isla Holbox?
No. Too busy.
Y'all didn't go? You ended up not going?
Nah. Too much going on.
You've
been traveling a little bit, the little stuff though.
Okay, so you refinanced your house.
Yeah.
You pulled out money.
Nope.
You just refinanced.
Now I'm getting a HELOC. It's bigger than my first.
Okay. The HELOC. And what would you do with the HELOC?
Initially, nothing, but I'll have that money on,
you're
a hair trigger.
Okay, this is good.
Something
this is
comes
good information.
Up. Something comes up. Yeah, I have cash and I can act on it quickly. Right. An opportunity comes up and I go, oh, I gotta go borrow money to do that, or I can go, boom, and I can make it happen right now. And those kind of deals, again, money, having access to quick cash like that, you know, people do that, what they call transactional funding.
Yes.
Somebody I know needs transactional funding for $300,000. I could do it. You know, make a nice little clip for a 24, 48 hour turnaround.
I can't believe your house is worth more than $300,000.
No. That's probably because of the goat pen.
It's probably because Curtis came over and did a little doo-wop on that.
Looks good.
Speaking of quick cash and having cash on hand and being able to do more, you have a program that allows people to get paid up to 2 years in advance or
1 year.
1 year. Okay.
So yeah, if a landlord says, hey, I want you to rent my house out, they have the option of saying, okay, we'll rent it out. And once we have a tenant, put them in, you get 1 year's rent up front.
And what happens if that person stops paying or?
We get this money through Wall Street. Okay. They're taking all the risk. Take a 10% haircut. So if you got $20,000 of rent for the year, you get 18, but you're not taking any risk on collections. You're not taking any risk on anything, and you have the money today, and you put it to work today. So 10% to me, I thought that was a little bit light of a discount, and I didn't argue with them. I thought it was a little low.
All right, that's very good. And does that also include the management fee?
So they take the management fees out as well, separately. Okay. And then the company, they pay us every month. So they deduct that and then they pay us.
Gotcha.
It works out great.
Yeah, it does work out great. Then it allows you to go do whatever you want. Then you can either pay off on your note,
go buy another house,
or buy
down
another
payment.
House, down payment.
Yeah. I did a couple of my rentals just to see how it worked. It was smooth. It took like 24 hours.
Yeah.
Got like 40, 50 grand in my account.
Are you selling any properties right now?
A couple. I've got one under contract now in Deer Park. I just couldn't resist. I sold it for, I don't know, 50,000 under ARV, and it probably needs 35. You know, somebody's gonna probably make it into a rental, I guess. But I know I know the buyer, and they're solid. So I couldn't argue.
So you just had that one
Lately, I sold one down in, you know, South Union, Mount Pleasant Street, in the area.
Okay.
Put it for sale for 99 and got 110 for it.
Wow.
It was completely trashed.
Yeah.
22-year tenant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Quick. So but I didn't want to mess with it. It's on blocks. It's always had a roof leak. It's just been this nightmare house.
I just refied one of my houses in Mo City, and I got a 385 on it for 30 years, and
fixed for
30 years.
Nice. That's hard to find.
And I refinanced at 63% of ARV, and I could have gone all the way up to 80.
So, but you got a better rate at 63.
I did get a better rate at
national
63.
lender or local lender?
And, a local lender.
Nice.
And I did a deal with them where I was going to go in and just put in it like another $5,000. So I agreed with the tenant prior to doing the refi that if you would sign a lease increasing your rent up another $200 a month, that I would come in and put in new floors. The price of $200 a month was covering half of what it's going to cost.
Debt service.
Yeah.
Debt coverage ratio.
Yeah. So everything was kind of like,
that's creative.
The start,
and it's not anything dishonest because you really are raising the rent and you're improving the asset.
And I'm still improving the asset. And the people have lived there since 2008.
Giovanni. I've seen him in a while.
Where?
Just sit down, white in the white shirt, blue collar.
Oh, no. Ryan DiGiovanni isn't that? That's not Ryan DiGiovanni.
His name's Giovanni.
Oh, Giovanni.
Different.
Okay. Anyway, I was gonna say.
I hear you're pulling the trigger Friday. Congratulations.
Knocking
did
one.
Did you tell the world?
I
did you tell both people that are watching?
All three of you that are watching, I'm sorry to break your hearts. If there's any men out there that also like guys, or if you're a lady that likes me, I'm gonna be taken.
Friday, right? Getting married?
Friday night, 7 o'clock.
Congrats. Good for you.
Overlooking downtown.
She's out of your league.
She is. Yeah, she's pretty great. She is in the back right there talking to the
she's flirting with some guy. I don't know who it is.
She's out there flirting. I can see her right now. I see her
right there.
Yeah, she's deciding whether or not she should eat some brisket or not right now.
She probably should. It's pretty good. I tried some.
She should, but I need her to fit in that dress.
Well,
I'm glad she won't watch this.
If y'all are considering it, get on out here. The food's good.
The food's amazing tonight. We're having brisket
and chicken.
Brisket and chicken sandwiches. It's amazing. They really do a good job. The barbecue sauce out here it's worth the trip. Plus, it's free.
Free food, free beer.
Yeah. Richard and Eddie are providing all the drinks and all the food and all the networking and the education. And next month, tell me about next month. What's coming up next month?
So I don't know if you've seen there's two shows on HGTV. There's a Texas two-step and another show on HGTV about a couple in Houston, John Pierre and his. I
saw the one about the couple in Galveston.
Yeah, this is there's. I think the new show is Texas two-step. The other one, something to sell, list to sell, get this ready to sell. Anyway, they're Houston-based guys.
Okay.
Houston-based couple. What I like about them is they do rehabs like a real person does rehab. You got these frou-frou guys on there, ripping out walls, raising ceilings, doing all this crazy stuff. That's not how the real world works. You build to the neighborhood. You do not overbuild for the neighborhood. They go in, they buy a house in a $200,000 neighborhood. They rehab it to that level only and stop, because that's the only way to make a damn living. So now what they're doing is Texas two-step is they're offering where you find a house and they'll get the rehab done and all that for you. Pretty interesting. So John Pierre will be here. And the great part about this is I tell the secret to all three of you. He got his start in real estate coming to our event. How cool is that?
Coming to where?
Coming to
Coming
Renter's
to this
Warehouse
event?
Jet Lending event.
Oh my gosh.
He used to come when it was over at the Texas Grill.
No way.
And he was like, I'm going to get into this real estate thing. And I'll be darned. Down the road now, he's on HGTV. He's a media superstar of some sort.
You know what I think's pretty cool? So if you think about this, you invited me to Jenny's 50th party.
Oh, that's a good party.
Okay. 50th birthday party. Richard rented out the Redneck Country Club. One of the first events that Kendra ever went to was to that deal.
Yeah.
And she met you.
Yeah.
And y'all danced together to a country song.
Yeah. She's a good dancer.
She had a great time. Okay.
Well, of course she did. I was there.
In there, she also met Jason.
Okay.
Within that 1 year period of time, she ended up doing her first real estate deal.
Look at there.
And she still always today, her favorite segment of watching the podcast is when you're on. You want to know why? Because we talk about traveling.
I'd rather travel than most anything else.
She admires you so much. So if you think that everyone on here, you at least have one fan. I just want you to know.
One in a row.
Everybody.
I'm on a hot streak. I got one in a row.
You got a good winner. I married her, but you got a good winner. Yeah.
It's all right.
So
it's out of your league, but that's okay.
I'm just saying, Jet Lending or this event and the people that come to this event are inspiring.
Of course
you can't help when you rub elbows with people. You get a
little more fired up. You get a little more motivated. Get back on track, because a lot of times it's hard, especially when everybody's at home. It's hard to stay focused and say, "Hey, I'm going to go make something happen today. Something positive happen." So I'll be honest, I do it too. I'll sit at home. I'm not going to go today. I'll go tomorrow. And you really got to spend time around people that are doing something, right?
I've done.
You're the sum of the 5 people you spend time with.
I've done 3 deals off of doing this podcast live.
I believe it.
Because people, while I'm on the podcast, we were talking about something I was looking for or something I was buying or an area that I do. And then someone would message me on Facebook or someone would grab me from the event and say, hey, I've got a deal in the Heights. Hey, I've got a deal in Meyerland. Hey, I've got a deal here. Yeah. So it's worth it.
Oh, yeah.
It's worth it to be active. I mean, I can tell you there are probably times you don't want to do the hour and 15-minute drive from Pearland to here.
It's a haul.
Right. Yeah. It is a haul. So, I mean.
I stopped at Velvet Taco today, so it was worth it.
The one on Shepherd?
Westheimer.
Okay.
I like that one. It's good. Right there at Montrose.
What do you get? What's your go-to?
Number 3 and number 8.
Which is?
Korean barbecue and the pin or pin something chicken. Pinkin.
So is it mainly like like a Korean taco place?
No, it's like this fusion deal. You get today they had chicken Caesar salad taco. They got brisket tacos. They got Wagyu cheeseburger taco. There's no telling what they'll have. It's great.
Wow,
it's a good place.
That sounds awesome.
The brisket one is good. I've had that one.
Any new programs coming out?
Not right now, but we're really, really enjoying being able to give people a whole year's rent up front.
Yeah.
We still offer rent guarantee. So if somebody wants to, have insurance, we're going through a major national company that everybody, no. They're on your side, right?
I think Rob Trigg is coming up next.
Oh, we got all kinds of problems now.
Yeah,
you got to deal with that.
I do have to deal with that.
But yeah, we're really doing a lot with our prepaid rent. So we pay our owners a whole year. And I'm glad you brought that up. I hadn't talked about that in a while.
Yeah, you have not brought up prepaid rent in a while.
That's great.
You had me.
The tenants pay.
You had me at 1 year up front.
Yeah. Here's your money. We'll deal with all the hassle.
I might take you up on that.
Come on.
All right.
Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. I'll see you after the deal.
Good to see you, buddy. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Robert, stay stronger together.
Stronger together, baby. Stronger together. Hashtag it. How the hell are you, man?
Good. How'd you come up with stronger together? This is Rob Trigg, the director of loan services.
Loan operations.
Loan operations.
Yes, sir.
Jet lending, as you can see.
Yes.
I wear his hat. You've probably seen most of my my posts.
I gotta get you a new one.
No, I like the old trucker hat.
You like this one? This is an old trucker hat.
No,
Not
I
the
like
same?
it. No, I got that big square logo on
You
the
like
front.
that one better?
Yeah, that had your name, your phone number on
Yeah.
it. That's the one I wear to my job sites. I do my Facebook Lives with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wore it like 3 times this week. I've done Facebook Lives, pictures with it, all that.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it.
problem.
I'm glad you like the hat.
I do like the hat. I thought I lost it, and someone gave it back to me.
I've got one in retirement. If you ever lose it, it's for you.
You have one left.
I have one left.
Okay.
So if you ever lose it, call me. I'll give it to you.
So since we last spoke, which was 2 months ago, you didn't know what.
Oh, we're having a girl. We're having a girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched the
gender reveal.
live Zoom gender reveal that your wife did.
Yep.
That was good.
It was awesome.
Why are you so worried about having girls?
I'm not worried about having girls. I wanted a boy. I'll be honest with everybody. I did want a boy. I have accepted it that I'm going to be an awesome girl dad for the rest of my life.
Man, I was a girl dad twice before I even became a boy dad.
Yeah, well, this is it. There's no more.
That's it.
That's it. I'll be almost 46 when she gets here. Nova Lee Grace Trigg. We've got the name picked out. We're going with 4 names because we couldn't decide on them. If it would have been a boy, it would have been Anakin Trigg. Pretty.
Or like Anakin Skywalker?
Yes.
Okay.
But God has a plan for everybody. And
Well, I mean, you went with the name Anakin versus Luke.
well,
Anakin actually turned to the dark side.
but he came back. He
I
came
guess-
back.
I guess
he was redeemed.
I get, yes, after years and years of torment and disconnection to his entire family, he came back at the last moment because his son went and tried to reach out and bring his father back.
This is true. This is
So
true. But you know what? It has nothing to do with he wasn't Anakin at that during those times. He was a different person with a different mentality.
Okay.
Which, but
But
Anakin,
it did come from Star Wars.
yeah,
Anakin.
it did come from Star
Okay.
Wars. I like the name.
I
ever
didn't
since-
even know that you were a Star Wars guy.
Oh, I'm a huge Star Wars guy. Huge Star Wars guy.
How did I not even know this?
Do not know why you don't know this.
Have you been
Not-
to
yes.
the Star Wars deal at Disney World?
I have not yet.
Is this a bucket list item for you?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
yes,
of course.
Of course, yes. I mean,
Yeah.
we're talking about growing up. I mean, we're the same age, growing up with
Uh,
all of them.
I had all of
I
the
did too.
stuff. I had all of the. I lost it all.
I still have an R2D2. It's a plastic. What is it? It looks like not R2D. It's C3PO helmet.
Oh,
And
that
it's got all
opens up and it
it's
has
got
the figurines inside.
I've got all the figurines.
Oh,
still.
wow! Wow!
Hey, my daughter has Luke Skywalker.
I had the Darth Vader.
Yeah. My daughter has a Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan glider that goes the battery operated.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got one of those.
Wow.
Somebody was selling it like 4 or 5 years ago on Facebook thing for like $50. I said, sold. I'll give you $50 right now for it.
Wow.
I said, in
Okay.
fact, if you want more, I'll give you more.
Jeez. Oh, that's nice, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
So I looked
You
up on
are
that.
a Star Wars fan.
I am a huge Star Wars fan. So
How many times would you say you've watched Star Wars?
not as many times as I would like. I will say that.
Where is most of your time spent during the day? You've got the podcast, Trigger Points podcast.
I would say, other than the podcast that we do once a week, which would love to get you on the show, love to, so we could sit down and chit chat outside of here. I would say most of the time of my day is spent behind 3 screens.
Okay. And answering,
Pipeline deals, in front of me and comps in front of me.
How do you determine which one goes first?
New money coming in versus existing money.
Okay. So if I'm an existing customer of Rob Trigg or Jet Lending, I go first.
I would say when I look at my pipeline, kind of break it down a little bit easier for you. If I've got you in the door with an appraisal,
right, you're
coming first.
Yeah.
And
because this is a closing.
This is closing.
I thought you were going to hit me with whichever one's closing first.
No, I want to take care of this money that's coming in.
Gotcha.
Make sure that I know that they're taken care of. So my priority first in the day is to ensure that we're getting that transaction going, making sure that we're QCing that file, making sure that the client's getting everything they need, making sure that they understand the process, make sure they understand the loan. And then once I'm done with that, then I start with new money and get that new money brought in.
How many times should someone expect to be receiving like communication during the process?
They should be talking to us daily.
Daily.
I would like to. Does it happen? No, but we're always open to talk to anybody.
Well, I'm saying from y'all, where they're not chasing the information
daily. We're talking to them daily.
Send an email, a text message, a phone call.
Daily during the transaction. We're always talking to them.
I think communication is the biggest part that misses my comfort zone as someone who's borrowing money.
Yeah.
I want to be talked to pretty consistently.
Of course you do.
Because it provides a level of comfort that I know that my deal is being worked on.
Yeah.
So that's
huge. It's being worked on by competent people. Because the last thing you want to do is put your investment strategy or your investment into the hands of somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. Braxton, one of our younger loan officers today, he said, Rob, how many deals do you think you've evaluated over your period of 6 years that you've been doing this? I say, that's a tough call. I'd say it's at least 3,000 or 4,000 properties. Now, have we closed all those? No, but I'd say it's somewhere up there. Now, you ask Eddie Gant, Johnny Hayes those questions, they're probably in tens of thousands, So he asked a loaded question. I said, you know what? I'd have to go back and pull data. And see.
The more deals I see, the more knowledge I have, the more deals I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy right now. We've got 60 loans in our pipeline. This is the highest pipeline we have ever had. Ever.
What do you expect to close out of the pipeline?
Every one of them.
Damn.
I have 60 appraisal ordered right now.
Wow.
60.
Okay.
That's the highest we have ever had. And I mean, it's just because of the dynamic team that we've got.
Right.
And we've put people in the right positions to make the right calls at the right time and make sure that, everybody that's handling the loan is comfortable with what their portion of handling that loan is, whether it be appraisal order or, talking about numbers with clients. We want to ensure that competent people are handling your loan.
So for someone that hasn't done a deal or someone that's got a deal, what is the process for them?
First things first is get us involved as quick as possible.
I know. How?
Well, pick up the phone, call us. Okay. Give us a call. Shoot us an email, text. You can call me directly, 903-806-4400. Or you can call the office and you can get on our switchboard and call in. We'll evaluate your property, let you know as quick as possible what we can lend. I mean, we're not called Jet Lending for nothing. I mean,
right.
A guy called me today. He said, man, I gave you this deal yesterday. I expected it to take a couple of days. I said, no. You're going to get numbers within 24 hours. That's what we try to ensure that we're able to do that so that the transaction goes as quick as possible. Because, I mean, everybody wants their deal to close, quick, but you want to close it quick and efficiently as well. I'll tell you what's really increased. We've got a whole department. Most people don't know this. We got a whole department that's dedicated to 30-year non-QM loans now.
That is what I've heard.
Yes. Whole department.
And so what is the process with that?
Same thing.
You know, you just
620 credit score,
I
or
think it could go down to 620. Yes.
okay.
Yeah, and we got one guy that's dedicated to run all of those loans. Since he's been there less than 45 days, we've gone from 3 loans on the pipeline to 12.
Nice.
30-year loans.
Nice.
And it's increasing daily.
Okay.
So, I mean, us doing that strategy and shifting focus and saying we need an independent guy to handle all of these 30-year loans so that we got a team that handles the short term and we have a team that handles the long term. And since that, that's all he's focused on, numbers have gone up because his sole responsibility is to market and ensure that those 30-year customer refinance, cash out, all your investment properties that you want to buy and hold. He's concentrating on that. He's doing a great job.
That is awesome. So, how quickly can they go from application submission to closing?
About 45 days.
Wow, 45.
About 45 days.
And the biggest holdback in that is the appraisal?
Appraisal process takes a long.
Because there's a shortage in appraisers.
Yes. And typically, when we're using 30-year loan appraisals, that it takes a little bit longer time because they're backlogged. You know, all these appraisers are backlogged. Now, for hard money, look, we can close that deal quick. We got appraisers on staff that can go do those appraisals really quick.
Wow.
So
okay, awesome.
It's just a little different process. When
Yeah,
you're dealing
a
with
different appraiser.
Yeah.
You got to be. You have to be competent in the process.
Yeah.
Looks like our time is up. I want to thank everybody for listening to this Investor Game Day podcast.
Appreciate you,
If you haven't, we hope that you hurry up and get over here within the next 15 minutes so you can listen to Dr. Mark Dotzer. And if not, we will see you, or you can continue watching the feed. It'll be live here in the next 15 minutes, and hopefully we will see you next month.
All right.